Come on in, join in. Good morning. Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. It's so good to see you guys. It is Wednesday, February 26th. How are you doing? It is so good to chat with you guys here again today. Today, I actually wanted to make this topic about the impact of you guys not getting enough protein, of us not getting enough protein. And I'm going to tell you, I already know that it is really like the most exciting thing for us, I think, is that we are told that like if we'll up our protein, we will lose more weight. And this is absolutely 100% true. It's like a hack. It's a hack for weight loss. But I want to give you a little bit of a little more reason for you to prioritize really getting your protein way up there. Like, what is your goal weight? What is it? What is your goal weight? If you're brave enough, you can let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. That's what you should be shooting for in grams of protein every single day. So we're going to talk about it today. I'm so excited. Okay, housekeeping tonight. Free Zoom, 7:00 on. Basically, I'm going to give you some practical tips in my kitchen right here behind me. I'm going to give you some practical tips on how to switch out a few ingredients to be grain-free, because grain is messing up your sugars. It's messing you up. And so even if it says keto on the package, they are lying to you. Grain is never keto. That's a joke. They made that up. Anyway, point being that I want to do the 7:00 Zoom. It's totally free. I'm going to do about a half an hour of tips. I'll take some questions, and I will actually make sure that I do not leave you without knowing how to accelerate your weight loss for summer. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, this is what you need to do. And you can just jot it down. You don't have to leave right now if you don't want to, but for TikTok, super easy. You can see my site is right there. It's KirstenLiebelt.com. It's my first last name.com. And if I had another device, I would show you what it looked like. I'm working on it. But basically right when you pull it up, you'll see my face. It looks the same as my profile. And then you're going to see this little like, food pyramid. I can't remember what I called it, you guys. Oh, yes, I do. It's right here. The food pyramid myth, a quick tutorial to ditch grains, reverse insulin resistance, and lose weight. I put it up on TikTok. Look at me go. I forgot that yesterday too. So basically just a quick tutorial. Okay. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. Okay. If you want to be in on that, I just need your name and your email, because then I can send you the actual Zoom link. Like I am personally going to send you the Zoom link. Okay. So you can jump on and be a part of that tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then the second thing before we get started on the protein information is basically that you only have three full days now. Well, today, tomorrow, and all of Friday, because that's the end of the month. If you are jumping in on the Orange Pixie Stick Fat Loss 90-day run, if you're doing that, I want to make sure that when you buy those 3 boxes that I send you a measuring tape. Like, this is important. I want you to measure. I didn't on my first round. You do 90 days, take 30 days off, do 90 days, take 30 days off, because it's a thermogenic and you don't want your body to get used to it. And if you have questions on that, I can answer that on the Zoom tonight too. But I just wanted you to know that if you are doing that, don't let time pass you by. If you're going to do it anyway, if you're going to grab a friend and do it anyway, then you might as well like get a measuring, tool so that you can actually know what's going on in your world, because a scale isn't going to tell you as much as this is going to. Megda was 3.5 inches off under her bra, 2 inches off her waist, 1 inch off her hips. I mean, so many people have one. She's just the one that comes to my head all the time. And she did 90 days. That's how she did that. 3.5, 2, 1. Just saying. Okay. All right. Let's get into the protein. Good morning, Terry. How are you doing? Dropping in for a bit, and then you will catch the rest on replay. You're amazing, Terry. You're amazing. Thank you for jumping on a bit. I so like it. Carol, thank you very, very much for tapping the TikTok. I appreciate you. Everybody who's on the balcony, come on in. We do this every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you to everybody that joins in. Okay. So this is kind of why I wanted to do this, because I know that there are, sometimes we get really tired of hearing about the same thing all the time. We get tired of, oh, just shut up about protein, or shut up about whatever it is of the day, right? Like if we were in the season of jazzercise. We probably got tired of hearing everybody talking about jazzercise, et cetera. But you know what? I feel like a lot of the pieces that are coming forward now, these are really these are not fads, I guess is really what I want to say. This is not a fad. This is not going away. And I feel like a lot of this for me came from when I took care of my mom. And I saw the detrimental effects of dementia, and how you need to be strong and you need to have stability and you need to have good blood sugars and you need to have muscle and all of the things, right? So today, let's just go through some of the things that you may not have known. I've always tried to give you information that maybe nobody else is talking about. It's kind of a goal, right? So, all right. Many women are not consuming enough protein to meet their body's needs. This is really important, you guys. And I'm going to just stop right there and say, and if you are insulin resistant, and you are trying to get your protein from grains, it's messing you up. You are thinking that these are very high protein and good opportunities, not if you're insulin resistant. You are spiking your sugars. The only way that I know how to mitigate that, I told the story yesterday and I don't want to repeat that, but my friend she is Mediterranean, so she's eating very good, organic, whole grain. She's making her own sourdough, but she is mitigating it for her insulin resistance. So do not be confused with all this keto bread crap. Don't be confused. So she's just taking extra of the glucose out of the trio. She's taking extra every time she eats, or she did. I don't know if she's doing that still today. If she needs to, I don't know. But she's taking 2 every time she sits down to eat because she needs to mitigate. But for the average person, getting your protein from grain when you are insulin resistant is not a good idea. However, the shortfall can lead to several health issues, including, so this is where we get into what kind of really fires me up because I get really concerned about women losing muscle mass. You don't want to lose muscle. Listen, I'm 60 years old. If you are 50, you're 55, you're 60, you're 72, you're 80, you don't want to lose muscle mass. This is a really big deal. And so, in our 20s and 30s, we probably should have been lifting heavy, right? But we weren't, maybe. Some of us were. Some people are doing CrossFit, so probably not bad. I've never looked into it. Can you tell? Okay. I just will keep moving on. So insufficient protein can cause your body to break down your muscle tissue, leading to weakness and a slower metabolism. You guys, nobody wants that. I know everybody wants to hear about the weight piece, but it's true. It's you are slowing down your metabolism if you are not prioritizing protein. I had 2 eggs and a little bit of steak for breakfast this morning. It was all protein. And I will be full now for hours. And my blood sugars will go like this. Because I gave it no extra sugar. There's no spike in that. Do you understand? So no oatmeal, no pancakes, none of that. Number 2 is weaker bones and osteoporosis. Okay, my mom had this. Protein is essential for bone strength. A chronic deficiency increases the risk of osteoporosis and fractures, particularly in older adults and postmenopausal women. Hello, are you postmenopausal with me? Number 3, insulin resistance and blood sugar levels. You guys, if you don't have enough protein, your insulin resistance. So low protein intake can destabilize your blood sugar levels. Had you ever heard that before? That not getting enough protein literally destabilizes your blood sugar? OMG, here we are. Don't you feel like you're a hamster on a hamster wheel, trying to gain traction? But because we're not given some of these basic pieces to understand, we just keep on chasing, right? So if you get enough protein, you can actually stabilize your blood sugar levels. But if you don't, it's contributing to your insulin resistance and it's increasing your risk of type 2 diabetes. Oh, I can't even tell you how painful it is in my spirit. Because my mom had renal cancer years ago and she had 1 kidney removed. And she was told by her doctors that to keep the protein level in her 1 remaining kidney proper, she had to stop eating so much protein because protein was raising protein. Okay, now I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give you some fancy answer to it. All I know is that what happened to my mother is she became a total carbaholic. She had no type 2 in her family. She ended up with type 2, and then she ended up with type 3. And we took care of her for 5 years with her dementia, and dementia sucks. So, having said that, I believe with all of my heart she was given really horrible advice. I believe that. And because I know now that kidney issues come from insulin resistance. My dad ended up on dialysis. Okay. And just research. So you can look up Dr. Ken Berry. He would be a really good resource for you. But anyway, so how frustrating is that? Because here she was not eating enough protein, and not eating enough protein destabilizes your blood sugar levels, and it contributes to insulin resistance, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay. And don't worry, I will go through these all in one shot at the end here to wrap up. So the next one is poor immune function. Proteins are vital for building. Hold on. I got to move my thing here so I can read it better. I may or may not have bifocals on. Let me see here. Proteins are vital for building antibodies and immune cells. A deficiency can weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections. You've got to have protein, you guys. You have to have protein. Next one is hair loss, weak nails, and skin aging. Okay, and we don't want that. So proteins like keratin and collagen. I always put like a pink collagen. I do collagen peptides every day with my gut primer and in my frother, okay? Because it's a big deal. You lose collagen fast, like in your 20s, starting in your 20s. Keratin and collagen are crucial for healthy hair, nail, and skin. Without enough protein, you may experience thinning hair, brittle nails, and sagging skin. Okay, next one is hormone imbalances. Proteins are necessary for producing hormones, including those regulating menstrual cycles and fertility. Low protein intake can lead to imbalances and related issues. Good morning, Claudette. Good to see you. Good to see you. Next one is chronic fatigue and brain fog. Amino acids from proteins support neurotransmitter function. A deficiency can result in mental fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and mood swings. I actually, and I don't even talk about it a lot, in my line, I have a phenomenal amino acid product. I drink it every single day. Every single day. It's if you type in muscle, you'll see it. It's a muscle multiplier because it's giving you straight protein in all nine essential amino acids that help you to build muscle. It's the component of protein that helps you to maintain your lean muscle mass. And I drink it every single day, at least 1 scoop a day. Anyway, because amino acids from proteins, so the amino acid profile in beef is almost identical to the amino acid profile in your muscle, in human muscle. Okay. They support neurotransmitter function. A deficiency can result in mental fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and mood swings. And then the last one is persistent hunger and cravings. Are you just hungry all the time? Like you're just hungry and you're wondering, why am I so hungry? Somebody had mentioned before that when they were a little girl, that out of all the kids in the family, they were just hungry. Well, it depends on what you're being fed, right? So if you are given a bowl of cereal and some skim milk for breakfast and then you're sent off to school, you are going to be starving in about 45 minutes. I mean, it's just because it's pine, you're putting pine into the wood fire, just flash heat and it's gone quickly, right? So persistent hunger and cravings, protein helps you to feel full. Like this is my goal, right? Like having a little bit of steak and eggs this morning, I will be full now for a very long time. My blood sugar will be stable and my cravings will be way down, way down. It'll be mostly then you're battling like maybe a stress craving, an emotional connection craving, a boredom craving, right? Like those things. But it helps you feel full. Not eating enough can lead to constant hunger and cravings, potentially causing weight gain. So this is where then let's go back to the very beginning of this live. A lot of us are seeing content about protein, 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 protein. It's a weight loss hack, and it is. It is. It's way, way, way more than that, but it is a weight loss hack, because if you will start prioritizing real food protein, you will be full longer. You'll feel satiated. By default, you'll eat less. You'll eat less calories, and you will just function. You will have more mental clarity, and you will have more ability to just function because your blood sugars are stable. Does that make sense? Like, it's a really big deal. So let me just run through these like as a little rerun. Phyllis, good morning. You're on the phone with the tax man. Oh man, I'm sorry, Phyllis. Well, then you might as well just hang out and like be a part of the party while you're waiting for your tax guy to get off, be available for you. That's really funny. Thanks for sharing though. That's hysterical. Okay, so let's go through. We'll go through the list here really quickly. Thank you, you guys, everybody, for joining on TikTok. It's so much fun. And we do this every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, unless I'm traveling. I'm traveling next week, so I won't be here on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And I was trying to think like if I'm going to do any live while I'm gone, like if I have to pick one platform, from where? Which platform should I pick to go live from if I do? I was thinking about that and I'm like, I don't even know. But because I wouldn't have a setup. I have a whole setup here. But every day we do this because my entire life was based on being Italian and having a lot of obesity and type 2 in my family. And my dad died at 63. And his quality of life was so poor by the time he died, he literally just gave up. I mean, he literally gave up. He was on dialysis for 2 years at the end and just puking when he'd have to go in for dialysis. And we came home. We were living out in the Black Hills of South Dakota in the 90s. And we came home to Minnesota to visit because we knew that he was not in the hospital. He wasn't hospitalized. He was just struggle bussing. His heart wasn't working very well. And so we knew in April that, he just wasn't doing extremely well. I was 30, my kids were babies. And in July, we came home just to be with my dad for a minute, never anticipating that we'd get there and he'd die. And I am actually convinced 100% that he waited until we got there because my youngest, who is now 30, he was 6 months old and he did not get to see him yet. So he got to see him. And then we had a week of, struggling, he'd have dialysis and he's throwing up and he's saying, this is no way to live. And, all of these things. And then from Monday to Friday, and Friday morning, he was gone. He went to his dialysis appointment. He sat down, had lunch, and he just died. It was just, his heart was done. And I'll tell you, that whole piece of my puzzle of my life and where I saw so many things happen with, insulin injections and hospital appointments. And he had, talk about not having fun. Like, the man never vacationed. And if he did, he'd have to find a dialysis center, or he would have an emergency, something would happen, whether it was a dental emergency, because hello, your oral health goes to pot when you are insulin resistant type 2. He had just everything happens because of insulin resistance. So that's why I get on here every day and I talk to you guys about this, because I took a different path than he did. He took medication. I took supplementation. He did meds. I did this. I'm 60, not on any meds. I avoided type 2. I'm the only one who did. And I feel amazing. And because I targeted, when I talked to you guys about the trio, those 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, when I did that, that supported me in losing 3 sizes in my 50s. 3 sizes. So, all right, let's wrap up some of this protein stuff for you. And then tonight, if you want to get on the Zoom, I'm going to do about a half an hour of practical tips on trading out grain things that you're in love with. because I understand. Hello, Italian, pasta, bread. Hello, pizzelles, cookies. All right. I'm not going to tell you a trade out for the pizzelles, although I probably could. But anyway. All right. So many women are not consuming enough protein to meet their body's needs, and this shortfall leads to these health issues. And I think maybe you don't know the fullness of this. I know that I didn't know the complete, and I'm sure there's even more. But number one, muscle loss. Number two, weaker bones and osteoporosis. Number three, insulin resistance and blood sugar issues. Number four, poor immune function. And number five, hair loss, weak nails, and skin aging. Hold on, I got a couple more. I don't remember what number I'm on. It's okay. Hormonal imbalances, chronic fatigue and brain fog, and persistent hunger and cravings. So what is your goal weight? What is it? You can put it in the comments or you can keep it in your head. What is your goal weight? That's how many grams of protein you want to get every single day. And I know it might not happen right away because it takes time. People have a hard time getting protein into their diet. Tonight we're going to do grain. Maybe we'll do another Zoom down the road about protein and how to get in enough protein. But I'll tell you, if you just push aside all of the refined everything crap, you'll have room for protein. Don't put protein last on your list. Put protein first on your list and make sure that you prioritize it every time you open your mouth. I mean, that's what it's going to take, whether you're snacking on a hard-boiled egg or, a piece of string cheese that has 6 grams of protein in it. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? Thank you for joining. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Hold on. I think I'm good. And so this whole protein conversation, Lorette, you like my hat? Oh, you love my show. It's funny. Oh, I'm going to put your comment up there. Am I funny, Lorette? You're adorable. Thank you so much for saying that. I receive. I'm just me. Brenda, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, you guys. Linda, doctor told me to eat more vegetables. Don't eat so much proteins. Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, you guys. Okay, man, I'm going to rant just for a second. Okay. Can I rant just for a second? I'm not a doctor, so far be it for me to go against a doctor's advice, but I'm going to tell you my thought process. Thank you so much, Kristen. You're amazing. She's giving me hearts on my head. Hello. You're having a very hard time sleeping. Joy. I'm sorry. I know. Well, I'm going to tell you, I can tell you my sleep routine here in just a second. And you may or may not want to adopt it. It's, everybody's a little different. I've kind of gone on my own sleep journey, but you do have to fix your sleep because it's messing up your insulin resistance and your cortisol. But when it comes to protein, so we have been, you guys, we've been fed such a lie. We have been told that greens are superfoods and that meat should be demonized. And it's not true. If you put up, if all you did today, and I'm not saying you shouldn't eat your greens. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they've indoctrinated us to believe one thing. And it's not true. I mean, you just have to be you can do 2 things. Okay. Do 2 things. Number one, go online and say, show me the nutritional value of beef and kale side by side. Look at the nutritional value. Just do it for yourself. You just want facts. Let's just deal with facts. This isn't my opinion. This isn't me having like my food choices are my religion, or my food choices are governed by an ideology of any sort. Nothing. I only want to know the truth, because if the truth is that my body was made a certain way and that the amino acid profile of my actual human muscle, okay, that might have been fat, but my human muscle, I have so much muscle. My human muscle is the same as beef. I'm just telling you, like, we have been so scammed. Okay. So broccoli will never build a freaking muscle. Ever. ever. And if you are 50, 60, 70, 80, and you know darn well that you need to have strong legs and you need to have strong stability, muscle, strength, it's not going to get you there. Because if you do, we just got done reading, right? Not enough protein, osteoporosis. And like I was listening to Dr. Gear, he's not a doctor. I saw a reel of Gary Brecka. I think it was him. And he said, there's a big difference. You do not fall and break your hip. You do not fall and break your hip. Your hip breaks and you fall. Get it? Your hip breaks, fractures, and then you fall. So, not interested. I am not interested. Okay. But if you are insulin resistant, getting your protein from grains, major bad idea. Because it's spiking your sugars way too high. So we have got to stop the demonization of meat. In my opinion, this has nothing to do with an ideology. This has nothing to do with, like for instance, I don't know what the opposite would be, but if somebody doesn't eat meat because they love animals and they don't want to eat animals, that's an ideology. I'm not eating meat for an ideology. I'm eating meat because I'm eating meat and eggs and seafood and because of high protein, because that's what's actually going to fuel my muscle. Like, it's just really hard to imagine that. And this is where the second thing is. The first thing I said, go and Google what's the nutritional value between beef and kale and look it up for yourself. And the second thing is just think all the way back. I mean, do you really think that, that people were settling our nation on broccoli? Like they were like, in covered wagons and they were, you know what I'm saying? And doing hard things and building houses and or go back further, cavemen. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you have to run, fight or flight, if you have to build a homestead, do you really think you're chopping down all the trees on a piece of land and you're a vegetarian? I'm sorry, you're not. You might forage for mushrooms because there's value, like vitamin D, like you forage for a lot of God gave us a lot of really good answers, but it doesn't work that way, right? You have to have muscle building. You have to have high protein. And again, God didn't make bad food. So if you're not insulin resistant and you're settling, the United States of America in the 1800s or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a long time ago, but I'm thinking like Little House on the Prairie, Minnesota, because that's where it's connected. So this is where my brain is going. Just get inside my head, okay? And then you can laugh at me. But my point being that, then yeah, sure, you're growing crops and you're eating grain, but we're in 2025, people. You are on my content because you are insulin resistant. This is a different universe. You are not eating wheat like you were back then and it wasn't hurting. You were working that off. You were not at a computer desk doing nothing with your body. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we're in a different time. Once you're insulin resistant, you just have to embrace it and then we just turn it around. Like, let's go. And grain will not help you. Okay, there's my little rant. Okay, hold on. You can't put your name in the Zoom for tonight. Okay, message me in Messenger, Lorette. And right there on Facebook, just message me and say, here is my email. And I will get you on the list for tonight. Okay. I don't have a device to look up to see if you're on the list, if it actually went through, but let me know because I'll get you this. It's the only way I can send out the Zoom link for tonight. It'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm going to give you just practical ideas right here in my kitchen about how to just do a few things that are grain-free, just to kind of get your juices flowing for how to trade out ingredients in that manner. Okay. Since you've done that, your sugar is higher. So do you mean since you started focusing on vegetables and not protein, Linda? Like according to your doctor, is that what you're saying? Your sugars are higher? Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. So good to see you. Okay, so while you're answering that, Linda, I'm going to answer. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're all here. Planting your own food and raising cows and chickens is what we need. It is, Julie. And I get so dang proud of my daughter. OMG, she outshines me. I was never the mother she is. I swear. She, yes. Okay, Linda. She has 5 acres. You could actually follow her on Instagram. Her handle is, she just started it. But if you're interested in any kind of homesteading kind of thought process, now she is young with 3 kids that are really, really young. So that would be her demographic. However, so if you have a daughter or something, it's called Almosta Farm, like as in almost a farm, because she's on 5 acres. But they have pear trees and apple trees and raspberry bushes and big container gardens for all of her vegetables. And they do have a couple of chickens, but they lost a lot of them, so they have to replenish their chickens. And this is a really big conversation with my family and I, because we buy a half a beef and we put it in a freezer every year. We've done that for probably maybe 7 years now. And it's been such an incredible blessing to get local grass-fed beef in my freezer. It's the one area that I feel I have control over. Unless I go to Five Guys, then I don't have any control over the beef. But at home I do. But my point being that, you can grow your own food. We have to make different decisions. I'm not going to go and buy raspberries or strawberries every week in the winter in Minnesota, because they're going to be trash, because we didn't grow them here. I'm telling you that right now. And they are probably not organic, if you can even find them. I mean, right? So we have to eat in season, do those things. So basically what Deborah is saying is that she went to the doctor and her doctor said, listen, you need to be worrying more about vegetables and don't worry so much about protein. In my opinion, and again, I'm not a doctor, really terrible trash advice. Terrible, awful, horrible advice. And the reason why is because you need your protein in order for you to feel full, stabilize your blood sugars, like build muscle. Like as a female, I mean, just for 2 seconds, all we have to do is remember having a really bad period. Do you think we need to replace that iron? Do you think red meat would fix that? The answer is yes. We have answers like right in front of us. And so doctors are not trained in nutrition, clearly. And so we get really bad advice, and all they do is give us the food pyramid that is broken. It is a broken. Okay, so her sugars went up because she was focusing on vegetables. Well, yeah, you had nothing in there to stabilize your blood sugars, and potentially the vegetables that you were eating, and I don't know this to be true, but you could have been really leaning on starchier vegetables too, because that was me. Sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Anyway, okay. And then my nighttime routine, just because I'm going to say it, the amino acids. So Debbie, I have an amino acid in my line, and it's called Muscle Multiplier. So if you go on my site, message me and I'll send you a direct link. They are amazing. You're in Michigan. You were born with canning in jars in our hands. Oh, Julie. See, my daughter's doing all of that, and I didn't teach her. She has a mother-in-law that is a saint. Her mother-in-law is amazing. Amazing gardeners and canning. And I'm like, oh, praise God, honey. Lord knew that you needed somebody to teach you how to do these things, because even though we lived on 20 acres and I homeschooled for 20 years, I grew flowers. I had flower gardens. I didn't have food gardens. And my mother, I got that from my mother. And my mother used to always say, isn't it a shame? I grow flowers and not food. I really should be growing food. And I'm like, Mom, she had the most beautiful flower gardens. She worked for the Landscape Arboretum, which is the horticulture division of Minnesota, the University of Minnesota. And she had beautiful flowers. And I did that. And I say, Mom, no, your flowers are beautiful. Now I'm thinking the same thing. I should have learned how to grow food. That's okay. We'll go back and have land again at some point. That's still our dream. And we'll probably do beef a little bit, even if it's just for our own family, our own immediate family. Make sure that we have beef and chickens, etc. Okay. You know what, Lorette? I can't check the message right now because I don't have another device on me, but I promise you, I will get off and I will look and see if I got it. And now that you've commented here, I can come back to you and message you from there. So yours was greens and low carb, and it was still spiking your sugars, Linda. I just am telling you. So tonight we're going to talk about being grain-free on the Zoom. My nighttime routine, just because somebody was saying they were having Joy was saying she was having a hard time sleeping. Just to let you know, I've tried a lot of different things for sleep, and you do have to prioritize your sleep. Make 2025 the year that you get an answer for yourself, because the next day, every night you get a short night's sleep, the next day your insulin resistance and your cortisol are up, and you don't want that. It's then you're really chasing something that, you're really chasing something that can't be fixed. Make sure. Touching buttons. And so my routine has morphed over the years. I started with melatonin. I have a phenomenal melatonin gummy. I can't take it. It makes me feel drunk. So I have some people who buy it and love it, and then some people, they just can't. They can't do it. And that's me. So then I started taking. We have a sleep health. I call it Stinky Herbs, and that is a valerian and hop mixture. Really nice. You just kind of go, You just kind of calm, and then it doesn't make you feel fuzzy or anything. So I was doing that, and then I added in magnesium because I understood the necessity of taking like a magnesium glycinate at night. Those two were working for me really, really well, and I actually never needed to change that. The sleep health that I have in my line would be amazing, and then pair that with a magnesium glycinate. I do not have one in my line until March 19th, so poo. I'm waiting for it to launch. But magnesium glycinate and something like that sleep health at night would help you to really just kind of get go into sleep. Now what I've shifted it to is I take my magnesium that I'm taking. It's a glycinate blend. Glycinate helps you to calm down. And then I'm pairing that with, I have an ashwagandha in my line that is stunning. Certified organic, works like a freaking charm. And I take 2 of those at night at the same time as I take my magnesium. And it does not make you tired, but it does help to, from the inside out, work on your inner system, so that over time, what ashwagandha does is it helps you with sleep, stress, and mood. I'm sorry, who doesn't want that? We all want that. So that's what we want, right? Anyway, hold on. Is too much saturated fat from meat bad for the liver and cause insulin resistance? No. It is the opposite way around. Insulin resistance, that's such a good question. Insulin resistance is the pillar. This is what we talk about every single day, because the foundational pillar has a platform on top of it. And on top of this platform, everything else exists. So on top of this, you end up with PCOS and gout and type 2 diabetes and fatty liver and high blood pressure and heart disease, and everything comes from insulin resistance, because we have to back up. Let's back up the bus. Let's go way, way, way back. So we're eating this overconsumption of carbohydrates because we're eating the standard American diet, because we're eating according to the food pyramid. And you are told to eat 9 to 11 servings of grain every single day. So we were raised in the cereal age, the cereal era, where that was being shoved down our throats like any good marketing campaign would be. Eat cereal, grain. And so we eat cereal, we pour skim milk because we're supposed to be low fat. And we just start spiking our sugars all the time. And when you spike your sugars, your body is made really well. It's like a freaking Porsche. Your body was made to function. So your sugars go up a little bit, and your pancreas goes like this, and it releases insulin. Okay. And that insulin are little delivery trucks, and they're going to drive over to the glucose, and they're going to take that glucose and fill up their load of their truck, and they're going to bring it to your cell. And your cell is going to be given glucose for energy. Okay. But when it happens over and over and over, and now it's speeding up. Think about the Lucy and Ethel episode. It is the Lucy and Ethel episode. Come on. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Tell me. I'm not the only one. Where they're doing the chocolate dipping And the conveyor belt goes faster and faster and faster, and they can't keep up, and they're shoving it in their hat, under their hat, and in their mouth and whatever. Well, it's kind of the same thing with insulin and you eating food that is spiking your sugars. God didn't make the food bad, but what happened was your body is so overwhelmed that your cell eventually goes, excuse me, I am closed for business. It's a little too much going on now. And your cell closes. In other words, your cell is resistant to all of that insulin and all of that glucose. Okay. So what happens then is your insulin just keeps going up, high blood pressure, all of these things, and it's storing fat because it's a fat storing hormone. I'm going to store fat. I'm going to store fat. Where do you think it's storing fat? Where do you think the insulin is storing fat? I mean, it's obvious. It's your back fat. It's inside of your knees. I get it, right? It's your arms. It's the places you don't want. It's your belly for sure. For sure, it's your belly. But let's now go inside of your belly. Let's go inside. What's wrapping itself around your liver, your pancreas, your intestines, your stomach? Visceral fat. So if it's filling up in your liver and spilling over to other areas, that's just my own layman way of visualizing it. I'm sure there's no spilling. You get my drift. That is what is creating the visceral fat. You are not eating fat and getting fat. You are eating sugar and getting fat because your insulin is a fat storing hormone. So this is not a calorie in, calorie out conversation. This is not a animal saturated fat conversation. That was developed to keep you from eating meat and to keep you eating grain. It is called marketing. They have marketed and marketed and marketed us until we are fat, we're obese, we're medicated, we're sick, we're not functioning. We're not making memories with our family. We're not traveling like we wanted to. We're not getting down on the floor like we wanted to. And like my dad, dead at 63. Are you freaking kidding me? And this was not a terminal diagnosis. Somebody help me. Help me to understand that my father was never diagnosed with a stage 4 nothing. But he was dead at 63, all because of insulin resistance. It is turnaroundable. It is reversible. I am not a doctor. It is reversible. This is pathetic that this is what we're doing. So I am not upset with you, of course. These are just my passion project conversations that I have because it's like, no, saturated fat in meat is not your issue. When I just had steak and eggs, if I had a CGM on me right now, a continual glucose monitor, that would tell me my sugars went, humming right along. No spike. Totally full, totally satiated, totally stable blood sugars. Happy. That is not turning into fat in my body. Insulin is the fat storing hormone, not beef. Okay. You love how I explain things. They make sense. Thank you, Linda. I'm going to put your little comment up there. Thank you. I appreciate that because I'm a very simple person. If this is going to be too complicated, I'm out. I never took a supplement in my life other than Metabolife that got banned because of the ephedra when I was in my 30s. I was never going to trade out my foods. Are you kidding me? I'm Italian. Why would I ever trade out my foods? Right? So this either is easy or it's not. It's simple or it's not. The hard part is your mind, your mindset, the indoctrination that you've been given, and your heart connection to food. Those are the hard parts. Okay. Right? But the simplicity of targeted supplementation, if you want to accelerate what we're doing here, it is the targeted supplementation. I'm not going to lie. Okay. It makes a big difference. This is how I end up having people say to me, yeah, my doctor just put not diabetic in my chart. This has happened in January. And I've been on the trio since July. Do you know how happy it is when somebody says to me, I have high sugars, I need help with my high sugars? I can help you. I can help you. I'll teach you two things. I'll teach you targeted supplementation. I'll teach you food ingredient trade outs. You can still be a foodie and still love your life. And I'll give you an actual track to run on if you are open and coachable. If you are open and coachable. Debbie, the amino acids are, go to, I want to have a device in my hands. I don't think I have them listed on my site, is what I'm thinking. So just go to, because you can't get them in a store. Go to, can you message me? Do you know how to get to my profile on Instagram? Just message me amino and I'll send you a link. I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Just amino, AMINO. And I will do that for you. Of course, you know how to spell it because you just did it there. Hold on. There we go. Got to get that off. There we go. Popping up things on my screen. And it's watermelon or watermelon flavor or berry. I like the watermelon. My husband likes the berries, so we buy both. Good afternoon, Anna. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Does everybody have clarity over what's being available? Number one, tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, there's a Zoom. I'm just going to spend about a half an hour in my kitchen, give you some tips and tricks on trading out grain. Okay. And then you can ask questions and we will, I'll help you. I'll teach you how to accelerate weight loss for the summer. I'll take 5 minutes at the end and teach you that. You really need help with food swaps. So many things on social media and confused about what to eat. I know. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of noise. That's kind of a piece of why I come every Monday through Friday here and do this, because there has to be a theme of just straight information, in my opinion. And what I've done is very just streamlined and simplistic. So if you want to get on the Zoom for tonight, go to my site. I can put it right here in Facebook. KirstenLiebelt.com. And you will see right at the top, it says the food pyramid myth, a quick tutorial to ditch grains, reverse insulin resistance, and lose weight. And it will say name, email, submit. That's all you have to do to be a part of that tonight. And it's free. And I'm going to try to maybe take about a half an hour and give you tangible examples of ways that I today switch out my grain, how I don't eat certain things, but I'm still a total foodie. So I just put that on there. And I did spell my name right. Way to go, because I kept making a mistake. So that website, KirstenLiebelt.com, will get you to that little right at the top. You don't even have to go further than that. You'll see it right there. If you want to be on my magnesium VIP list for when that launches in March, one scroll up and you'll see it at the very bottom. Be the first to know. That is a phenomenal launch. Like, I can't stop talking about it. Amazing launch. It's a glycinate blend. It will have 3 forms and an extract from an olive fruit that will help your heart. Okay, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. I'll be switching to that immediately. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then let's see. And then the other thing, the last thing before I jump off, if you are grabbing, and I ate mine. I ate my, if you want your supplements to taste like candy, if that is of excitement to you without spiking your sugars, I have an orange pixie stick that tastes like an orange pixie stick, just like from when you were a little kid in those plastic tubes. And you put it on your tongue every day. And it is targeting visceral fat. So anybody that wants to target that visceral fat because you've either been diagnosed with it or because you want to lose inches, either way, I have actual scans from my customers that are showing the visceral fat decreasing. And I have actual testimonies of inches lost. I've got them both. 90 days. One box is 1 month. Go 90 days and then take a 1 month break. If you choose to go grab 3 boxes, this is only until the last day of February. only through Friday. If you grab 3 boxes, I'm going to send you a tape measure so that you can measure your progress. You have to, don't miss out. It's the most exciting part is that you're losing inches, but you're literally losing them from the inside out. It's like you're being sucked in. I'm just telling you, it's really the God's honest truth. So, all right. Oh, I did it twice. Oh, no, one showed up on YouTube. Oh, that's funny. Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. I can't wait to chat with you guys tonight. Have a great day, Carol. And see you at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you need anything in the meantime, message me in any of my inboxes and I can answer them for you. And I will be getting that Zoom link out into your emails today, like this afternoon here. That's what I'm going to be working on. Getting those out to you guys. Okay. So I'll be copying and pasting your emails and getting them out. See you later.